Good morning, admit all. Let me switch my camera view. Hang on a second. I'm just going to get a couple more things going. You know, it's always mayhem at A1 Vacuum and Sewing. So this is everyone. You admit all. Gallery view. Got it. Close. Okay, let me see if you guys can hear me. First of all, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. All right, hopefully I'll be able to get this all going. Let me get my stuff. Go ahead and heat up your irons. We're going to go start with fusing some shape. I started to panic because I went, oh my God, the gingerbread event is starting. I don't know why I was thinking that. I was thinking that. That's how crazy my brain is. And then I was like, wait a minute. Cookie tester. So, good morning, everyone. We're just going to let everybody log on. I'm just letting everybody in right now. We're just letting them in for a couple of minutes. And what we're going to start out with is we are going to just do our pre-class prep. So let me go ahead and get over here. This is for tomorrow. Look at all these people that are going to be in the event, and I have so many great prizes. So I literally was running around like, I need all my prizes. And I was like, hang on, this is not what we're doing. Okay, I'm going to heat up my iron. I don't know why, if anyone has this, why they don't put the plug on this backside. Maybe it's just the shape of it. But I always think that. And here is my kit. So we cut the original kit with fabric cut to size, and then we've started making them bigger where you're going to have some extra fabric, and that's what we're going to do from here on out. But I have one of the original kits. So get your instructions. So if you look at your instructions, and I'm still letting some people in, what we're going to start with is we're going to do step number 1. It's just we're going to fold each of the 2 back fabric pieces in half widthwise, wrong sides together, and press well. So you're going to grab this fabric and you're going to grab the other one, and we're going to just go ahead and press these, and this is going to be the back. So we're just going to have a really easy peasy envelope back. So these 2 go like this. And let me grab my sample so you can see it. So here's our little sample. Michelle always makes everything look so pretty. She's one of those people that makes everything look gorgeous. Not me. So here we go. So here is this. This is our envelope back that we're doing right now. So go ahead and press those pieces. So I'm going to go ahead. Just going to line it up. And I have you guys on a couple different pages right now, so I'll be going back and forth through. Let me see if I can get more people on at a time. Gallery, hard self. Nope, that's going to be as many as I can get. So, and if you have a question, stop me. Like, I want you to go ahead and stop me beforehand before we get too far. And my overachievers are on my first page. You guys they put you on my first page because you guys showed up first.
Hey, Jeannie.
Yeah.
This is Al.
Hi.
You're coming in a lower resolution over
Oh,
here.
shoot. Okay.
I don't know if anyone else has that issue, but
Let me take a look. I want to see. Let me go ahead and do speaker view. Oh yeah, I kind of see that too. Let me look. AI companion, stop video, reaction, share. I don't know how to make it better. Let me ask.
that's okay. No one has good eyes
Yeah,
anyway.
I'm
Right.
so sorry. Well, I think it looks okay. How about everyone else? I'm trying to see it. It looks okay to me right now, but I did notice that in the very beginning.
It must be us then. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Sorry about that. All right, here's your two back pieces. We're going to take those and put those to the side. Now we're going to put some shape flex on the back of each of these pieces. So we've got this little guy, these three guys, and you should have a piece that you can cut apart. And I cut my pieces. My pieces aren't even perfect. I just kind of cut my shape flex apart. So I'm going to grab these and we're going to put it on the back of these. This morning I got up and I started needling. That's what I call it when I'm on my 10 needle. I didn't even cut these the right size, but just about the center. Okay. If this one fits perfect, this is almost, and that is like, make sure if you're new to shape flex, there's one side that's bumpy, that's got the glue on it, and you're doing the wrong side of your fabric. This piece doesn't really make a difference, but a piece like this, where it's light colored, you want to check and just make sure you're not sandwiching like a dark red thread in there or something. I don't know about you, but that whenever that happens, I become fixated on that dark piece of thread in the middle, and it drives me absolutely crazy. I'm going to go ahead and change my view again so I can see some more of you at a time. There we go. Oop, somebody's waiting. Hang on, let me let them in. Miss Angela. And this piece. And that's going to be the extent of our prep work. And then we're going to go ahead and hoop up. You should have a medium piece of cutaway. Usually when I do kits for you guys, I always do the biggest size. But for mug rugs, I don't know, it's kind of like a placemat when you do the biggest size. And I like mug rugs more like a coaster. So we kitted the 5x7, but there's probably enough for you to do the bigger size. And I'm going to grab my oldie but goodie. It is such a cute design. I mean, when I stitched it out, look at he's got little hearts for cheeks. When I stitched that, I was like, oh my goodness, is that just the cutest thing ever? So it's such a cute design. I love mug rugs because they're totally doable. And these are the threads that I'll be using. So I'm going to be using linen, black, wildflower. I buy the king cone of this. I use these colors all the time. Marlin, brunette, and cork. And we do have a thread set for this if you wanted those. And if ever we have a thread set and you're like, I have like 8 million linen, just send me a note and I can pop that out and then I'll just credit you for that because that's how we do it at A1. All right. Grab your piece of cutaway and you're just going to pop this in. And with your hoops, this hoop is icky. There is an arrow at the top and that's going to be that's pointing up. And you always want it like a soup bowl. Every once in a while, I'll come in and somebody will have their hoop flipped around like this. You want it so it goes in. Go ahead and hoop this up. Mine's nice and snug. I don't know if I can tighten it anymore, but usually what I'll do is I put my fabric or my stabilizer in. I'll pull out all the wrinkles. I don't have any, and then I will tighten it. And that's why this is so great. You don't ever want to over tighten it, but this will fit on here. You'll feel the screwdriver catch there. And just another turn, just to make sure it fits in there nice and snug. All right, we're gonna load our design and let's get stitching. I'm gonna put this on my machine. I can see there's no bobbin in there. Let me get a bobbin in. I love pre-wound Celtic bobbins. So this is what I normally use. However, I was on Dime's website last night and they sell pre-wound bobbins too, and they're cheaper. So I bought some to try, and if I like them, I'll start carrying those as well. But you just don't want to, you don't want to get cheap. Cheap. You just want to make sure they're high quality. They're not all high quality. So I'm going to drop this in. But I buy those by the box. I think they're $59 for the box of Filtex. All right, let's load our design. Do I have a... So I'm going to come in here. I just loaded it, so... Oh, you know what? It's in the computer still. I'm going to go ahead and put this in my upper port. And see if I can slide this out towards me. I don't know what this. Sorry about that. I put it in my upper USB, and there's 2 different sizes, so make sure you select the right size. And remember, if you're on a Solaris or Luminaire, you can always make it a little bit bigger by pushing out, or you can pinch your designs in so you can see more of them at a time. So I know we have a little bit of a glare in here, so I'm sorry about that. But here's the 5x7. I'm going to go ahead and select that, and I'm going to touch set. And I always choose my hoop size. You don't have to do that for this, but I usually go in here and I choose my 5x7 so I know exactly how much space I have. I'm going to check my settings because we share the machine here. So I always like to stitch at the highest speed, set your embroidery tension to 0. I barely ever touch this. If you're having tension issues, rethread. That's going to be the issue 9 out of 10 times, or 98% out of 100%. And then you have embroidery foot height. Make sure you're always at the default. If you change that, change it back when you're done. For embroidery, you should be ending needle up. Don't end needle down for embroidery. That's just for sewing, so you can pivot. And then if you have this feature, make sure you're turning on your embroidery foot auto down. And that all looks good. I'm going to touch embroidery. We're not making any changes. And here we are on our stitch out page. Let's go ahead and load up our, I'm going to turn down my light here too, so it's not quite as bright. Brightness, light. Let's go to, we'll go to it 2. There we go, much better. And then my screen. I leave my screen usually at the highest color. How many bobbins are in the Filtech box? So the Filtech box comes with 80. It comes with 80, but, well, we'll talk about it when I get it. When I get the other stuff, we'll talk about that because we'll try those as well. We sell like we shop. And if I can find you a better deal, but it's as good, then I'll let you know. So I'm going to go ahead and slide that on. Here are instructions. Design is loaded. First thing we're going to do is we're going to stitch the batting placement line. And you guys know that I am a spray girl. So let me grab the spray tent and let's put some thread in there. Let's see what color is going to make a difference first. The first color that's going to make a difference right here, it looks like brunette. So I'm going to put my dark brown thread in. We're going to do dark brown, brunette. Go ahead and stitch out your placement line. And I'm going to go grab my spray tent. I love spray.
Jeannie,
So this is, yeah.
I think the first color is on the white.
It's cream.
Oh, it is? Let's see.
For the quilting.
What was that? Oh. Oh, yeah, you're right. I totally missed it. It's right here. So yeah, I missed that. So linen, I'll go ahead and change it out when we get there. But thanks for catching me doing that. It takes a village. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my batting, and I like to use my dime spray tent. And you have a right and a wrong side to your batting. So there is a side that's a little bit like nubbier. That's the wrong side. So that should go down on your fabric. And the one that dimples in is your right side. So let me go ahead and give that a little shot of spray. I like to use this spray tent so the aerosol doesn't go all over my room. And I do spray in the hoop every once in a while, but I try not to. So remember, ladies, this is not your Aquanet from the 80s. You do not need to make your hair big. You just want this to stay down a little bit. So don't go crazy with it. And this is the spray I use. It's the KK Ganold. And people use other stuff, whatever works for you. If you don't like spray, go ahead and tape. And it's batting. So you don't even necessarily need it. Cut my batting to the exact size. Oh, you did? Okay, if you cut it to the exact size, you're gonna skip. You can just skip skip this step, and you could just lay it down and not do step 7, or when you do step 7. So if you cut it to the exact size, what's going to happen is when your foot goes around, it might drag it around here. So I would just fast forward and just do this line of stitching right here to hold it down and to section these off. So I wouldn't worry about it, right? Just be happy and go, oh, I don't have to trim. But you're going to have to fast forward a little bit. All right, I'm still going to leave this thread in here. We'll change it out when we go to do our quilting. Go ahead and stitch the template. And it says, do not trim your batting at this time. If you have it trimmed, Donna, don't worry about it. It's going to be gorgeous. Hi, Asuli. Change to full screen. How do I do that? Hey, Patrick. Wanda, I don't even know how to change to full screen. Let me ask, what are you seeing right now? Are you not seeing? So Wanda wants me to change to full screen, but I'm not even sure how to do that. Let me see. We do it. Change to presenter. Oh, that's on your end. So did you hear that? So she said change it to presenter view. And I don't even know how to do that. So I think you should be seeing the full screen right now, unless you have a setting that's different. Okay, don't cut your fabric. Don't cut your batting right now. And it wants you to take your fabric and do right side up. And let's go ahead and we're just going to spray a bunch of this stuff because we can. So I'm going to grab all of mine. Michelle had to change. Okay, let me ask Michelle. Hey, Michelle. Are you guys not seeing me on full screen or what's going on? So I had one of the gals ask me, Carolyn?
I see you full screen.
Okay, so it's not a me setting, it's a you setting. So they're not seeing me on full screen.
Okay, so if you're in Zoom, at the very top you have a little tab that says view. On that tab that says view, you can select speaker view. Speaker view will give you a full screen view of Jeannie's sewing machine. If you're seeing other people along with yourself, you are not in speaker view, you are in gallery view.
Oh, got it. Okay, so here, maybe I can show you.
So let's see.
Here.
So right up
Come
here is a view tab. If you touch the view tab, you want to do speaker view, not gallery view. And that will let you see just the sewing machine.
Okay, so up there. So this is what I have, but we can change that, and you can change that too.
So if I touch speaker, then I get a big picture of the sewing machine, which is now the computer. If I'm in gallery view, then I get a picture of all your morning faces. So
All right.
you're
And
not
that's
seeing-
what we leave here because we like to see
so when we start
as
the
many of you
meeting-
as possible.
when we start the meeting, we spotlight the camera and we spotlight the machine so that you can make that large and see just that
Okay.
without seeing your classmates.
Yeah. So you should be changing yours on your screen to whatever you like. All right. I went ahead and sprayed all my pieces in here, the back side of them, so I can just grab them as I go. I had to go to full screen first and then it went to speaker. So did you see that? So she had to go full screen first. You're going to grab this piece of fabric first and we're going to lay this down. And if you want to tape it, you can tape it, but you want to cover over that whole template rectangle down on the bottom side. And make sure it's not too wonky because, I mean, it is kind of, you know, it's geometric. You don't want it to be offset too much. And it says stitch the tack down line. Do not trim the fabric at this time. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put in my linen right now. So let me go grab that. And that way I don't forget. And I don't like super dark colors on super light colors. What size are we making? We're doing the 5x7. So we're doing the regular mug rug size, but you can do the big one if you want. If you cut for the big one, you can do that. It's going to take a little longer to stitch. And don't forget, there's a pre-recorded video. You can find it on YouTube. Or did I send it to you? I don't know if I put it in the list, but there is a pre-recorded too. So you want to stitch this. This is going to be your tack down, but guess what? It says do not trim the fabric at this time. So just go ahead and leave it. I'm just tickling my fabric a little bit.
Jeannie, you're cutting out sometimes.
What was that? Hang on just a second. What was that?
You're cutting out a couple times.
You can't hear me? Is it the you put the link. So I don't know. I don't know why. Am I cutting out? Are you guys not hearing? Is it the stitching of the machine?
I can hear you.
You can hear me?
I can hear
Okay.
you.
I can hear just fine.
Yeah, I think it's might be on your end, maybe. Okay. So now it says stitch the background, a quilting design. If you haven't done it yet, you're going to go ahead and you're going to put in your linen. That's what this is. Go ahead and hit start. And then we're going to use your brunette. We're going to do our first placement line. If you haven't done it yet, I want you to go ahead and just have all your pieces ready to go and ready to lay down. If you're going to tape, you can go ahead and tape. And this is such a cute stitch. I don't know how you could add it to like your library, but what it has on here is it has like the little whisk. So there's a whisk and some swirls. I don't even know what that is over there. I think that's more whisk. Oh, it says sugar. But this way. So right here it says sugar. All right, we're going to do our first placement line. I'm going to go ahead and put in the brunette. That's going to be the darker brown. Oop. I've been on my multi-needle so much, my luminaire is starting to feel a little neglected. I fired her up this morning to do some binding strips, and I immediately sewed the right side to the wrong side. I was like, maybe I shouldn't sew at 6:30 in the morning. And then the fabric you're going to grab is going to be the darkest one that you have. So it's going to be this one. All right, just go ahead and place it down. I'll try and slow down because I do go fast and I'm a fast cutter. Once you lay down your fabric, you're going to go ahead and stitch the gingerbread tack down line. So just go ahead and hit start. If you haven't put your brown in now. I call this the Kimberbell stitch. So that little decorative stitch that goes around it, if you don't get nice and close, then the threads show. So when you go to trim this, make sure you get nice and snug. Double curved. My favorite tool to use when I'm doing this is always going to be my snips. But sometimes when you have the shape flex, it doesn't quite get it. But that's what I like to try first. And then I like my double curved.
Can we get one more person in Gingerbread Christmas? Do we have?
Oh, yeah.
So just open it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
You don't have any- you
Yeah,
don't have any ones over there, do you?
I don't think so. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. All right, here we go. So we're going to go ahead and it says trim the fabric close to the stitch line. Be careful not to cut the quilting design. So that's why a curved scissor is the best so your tip doesn't go into the fabric underneath. And a curved scissor also makes it so you get really close to those stitches. So just go ahead. I know some of you use your ScanNCut, so your piece is already laid down. I actually just bought those pressing mats because did I tell you how I'm gonna go to Salt Lake and the only thing I'm bringing with me is my, here, I'm gonna go with these. I'm bringing my ScanNCut. That's right, you heard it. So I'll report back. These were my first applique embroidery scissors that I ever bought. For the longest time, I used the blue handled scissors that came with the Brother and the Baby Lock machines. And, they're just like a small little straight pair of scissors. And it's hard to use those sometimes. And then when I got these, I was like, oh my God, I didn't know that something so magical existed. Hang on, I'm going to go this direction. All right. And then once you're trimmed, like I said, get it nice and close. On your instructions, we just finished this step right here. Now you're going to stitch the gingerbread 2 placement line. It's still having you leave that brunette color in, so we'll just leave it in. Just go ahead and hit start. And you're going to put down, this is going to go down next. I don't even feel like I sprayed mine. I don't know if I did. Let me give it a little shot of spray. I think I just put it in there. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to lay this down. Semi-directional, so. And then you're going to do your tack down. You can just leave that same brunette in, and then we're going to trim. Oh, sorry. Did you catch that? It's the plaid. It's the plaid. Sorry about that. Okay, I will, for a tack down, I will go back stitches. So this is where you go back if you were following me. And I'm just going to go back to the beginning of that step, orange is tack down. There, I'm right back there. It was like 2 stitches. So this is what you need. The other one is the last one, the outside one. Okay, we're going to trim him up. It was by the live feed. I don't think I took it anywhere. Okay, why am I struggling here? Oh, you know what? So Patrick had a pair of scissors that he sharpened for me. And like I said, I'm a lefty dominant scissor cutter. I'm righty dominant everything else. But when he sharpened my scissors, he sharpened them to how he cuts. And I haven't been able to use them since.
For the Kimberbell one, gingerbread Christmas place. That's what I'm looking
The gingerbread. Oh, I don't know. It's not up there. Is it by where we do the live feed?
for. Nope.
All right. Last one, we're going to do placement line. Then we'll lay it down and then we'll trim. And then we're going to just do some stitching. There we go. Now I have them in the right order. Go ahead and tack it down. This is where I get nosy and I start looking around your sewing room. Oh, Miss Gloria, you hung up your pumpkins and potions. It looks so good. Mine
Yeah,
still
I just
needs the
finished it.
rhinestone. Did you just finish it?
Yeah, I just finished it. Oops.
It
Sorry.
looks fantastic. You're
Okay.
ready for the season, huh?
Yes, I am. I'm just trying to get all the bats glued on. The
I've
last
got to do
few.
that too. You know, I'm going to sew mine on. Like that kind of stuff, I sew it on with the sewing machine.
I
Does it
did
tell you to
those.
glue? Does it
No,
say to glue it?
well, I did those with the lace bats, but the felt bats, I just went and got my glue out and glued them on and
Yeah.
wash it with it too. So with the
Yeah.
glue I bought.
Look at me talking all big like I did it or something. I haven't even done mine yet. But anytime I can just sew it on with the machine, I'm going to try and sew it on the machine. And then my next go-to is glue. And mine is hot glue gun.
Oh, I don't do hot glue gun. I burn myself.
That I do that every time too, right? You reach for the glue and then it's stuck to your finger and then you try to get it off with the other hand. And now
Oh,
you've got
so
hot glue on
true.
both hands.
This is the glue I use.
Oh, fabric tack. Nice. Okay.
Yeah. And it works really well. It works on
Wow.
everything.
All right. Maybe I'll just be gluing mine down too. I'll be thinking about you when I'm finishing up my embellishments.
Okay.
Because I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a rhinestone queen now. Now that I've done one project, I feel like I can rhinestone anything.
I love
so,
rhinestone.
yeah, I was scared of them. And so like my project sat. Any rhinestone project just sat. Michelle did the rhinestones on I did rhinestones on Nativity instead of the lights. And I asked Michelle to do them for me. So okay, here we go. So that was step number 22. Now it wants you to stitch the eyes of the gingerbread, and we're going to use black. I'm going to go ahead and take out my brunette. I have a girlfriend that just got her very first embroidery machine, and I've known her for years. Our kids grew up together. And so I know none of you can relate, but I have a lot of thread. And I had all the thread from when I first started that I don't use anymore because for the most part, for embroidery, I use Isacord and Glide. But I had all of this like marathon thread that was still great. And I just put it in a big box and I just gave it all to her. But I took my Glide, my black and my white Glide, and I gave her those too. So just opened up a new one for me. And I was like, what am I going to do with all this thread? And it was so perfect that she wanted it. She got her embroidery machine so I could start her with, I mean, it was a big box. There's probably like 150 spools. Susie, your sewing room looks very organized.
Not really.
Well, the back of it you look like you should be filming a video like all the pros do.
Oh, yeah. These are all the calyx shelving units.
Yeah.
Because I also
Oh,
do
yeah.
stamping up. So half my room is stamping up and half my room is
Oh,
sewing.
look, you got a helper. You
Oh,
got a
say
helper.
hi to Jenny. He knows you and Patrick's voice.
Oh, that is
He
so
always-
funny.
It is so cute when I'm exercising. I'll have you guys' videos on and he'll just sit there and he'll talk to you guys. It's
Oh
really
my
cute.
God. Does he hit your start stop button?
No, I don't let him touch the machine because he's really good at it.
So if Carolyn wants me to tell one, we should have this done in Kimberbell.
Till the week after.
Till the- yeah.
Yep, she's got till the
This
week
and
after.
next week.
Yep. All right, now we're going to stitch the gingerbread frosting detail. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my linen. Here we go. Dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. This is a minute of stitching. And then you're going to stitch the gingerbread 2 smile and hearts detail. So get your wildflower or whatever your favorite red is. Does anyone need any help? Are we all okay? I'm here for you. Oh, that's exciting, Angela.
I'm way
But
behind,
Angela,
but I'll be okay.
what was that, Giselle?
I said I'm way behind, but I'll be okay.
Wait, what are you waiting for?
I said I was way behind, but I'll be okay.
Okay. And if you need any help, just go, what do I do next? And I'll walk you through it. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right. Giselle, your sewing room's quite beautiful. They say blue, and that's kind of like a blue green, right? Is that like Tiffany blue? Is that like the color of a Tiffany box? They say it's calming. And everything's lined up perfectly over your window. All right, we're gonna put in our red. I like to show this every time I sew. Like, this is how I take out my thread. Make sure your foot is up. If your foot is down, this is closed and your tension disc is closed. So make sure your foot is up. And I just unthread. I unthread it to right here. And once you get past the tension disc, it'll just come right out. So, and that'll save you from having to cut here and pulling it at the needle. For probably 8 years, I didn't know, like when I first got my first sewing machine or my embroidery machine, I didn't get any classes. So I just figured it out on my own. And I would just grab my thread and just pull it back every single time. And I was lucky. I never had any issues. But you're really not supposed to do that. Oh my God. Do you want to know a deep, dark secret? Every once in a while, I'm lazy and I just pull it back. There. Now you know. All right. Go ahead and stitch your red. I go, you know what? I did this for 8 years. It didn't cause any problems. I'll just pull it back. But that's really rare. I've got to be feeling like super lazy. I almost always like unthread it and like, do it the way I showed you. And then after this, we're going to put in our brunette. So just stitch away. I mean, these are 5x7. You could do this in a, a 6x10 would be tight because the 5 inches, it would be pretty tight. But you could bump it up to like your 7x12 hoop, and you could do 2 of them at a time. So if you want to get assembly line, I don't know about you guys, but when it's gift giving time, I start to assembly line stuff. And I cut a big stack of things and I do them in big hoops and I do multiples at a time. All right, we are on step number 26. And step number 26 says stitch the gingerbread 2 and 3 frosting detail. So it's going to do the little stitching on the arms. So you're going to just put in your brunette thread again. Taking out my red. And go ahead and stitch away. If ever you're doing a dark color and you like stitch it and you notice the white, because you can sometimes see it just from a pin dot, you can always do a matching bobbin. I didn't really notice anything. They didn't write anything about matching your bobbin, but if you're a stickler, it's usually the small detail that you might see it.
I use markers.
What was that? Did somebody ask something?
No, I just said, Jeannie, I use markers to touch it. The
Yes.
Copic markers.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, whatever works. You could go back in with a Copic marker, especially if it's like sometimes when you're doing like a fill, like a satin stitch fill, and there's a large area, and then you're seeing the background fabric or whatever, then you can go ahead, use a marker if you don't have a topper. And then we're just going to keep the brown in. We're going to keep the brown in, and we're going to do step number 15, 16, and 17. I love Copic markers. I thought I was going to be like a mixed media girl, and I bought like all my paints, all my Copic markers, and then they all dried out. I actually gave my Copic markers to a girlfriend who I knew was going to love them more than I was loving them. Yeah, and you can always, if you're confused about what step you're on, you can always look here. And right now we're on step 15 of 26 steps in our stitch out. And when you look at your book, they're always going to have two sets of numbers. You're going to have the steps of the project on top, and the steps down below are the numbers of our stitch out. So if we're on step number 15, we're just going to go right down to here. That's step 15 of our sewing and embroidery stitch out. So just go ahead, leave your brunette, start that. This is stitching the decorative gingerbread outline. Did somebody have a question?
Yeah, I do.
Hi, Miss Tina.
Hi. What color for the 14?
Step number 14 is going to be also brunette.
Brunette?
So, yep. So right
Okay.
down here are your colors, and and these are the colors I chose, but if you see the brown square with the triangle, those are all going to be brunette.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
And I'll call out the colors. I might have missed that one.
Hmm.
16 is going to be brunette, and 17 is going to be brunette too.
There.
And you can always put whatever color you want in. They did program a stop. So if you wanted to put in something other than the brown, maybe you have special colors that you want to do for your mug rug. There's a stop in between each one of these. So now we're doing the decorative stitching around the middle one. Again, it's calling for brunette. Because what if you have like, I don't know, a Giants fan? I'm so not a sports fan. I couldn't even tell you what their colors are. But if you had like somebody that loves the sports team or whatever, and you could also personalize these and you could add like a name, like maybe you have a granddaughter and her name is Maddie. Maddie, the official cookie tester. I could show you at the end of the class how you would add something like that if you want. Okay, so last one. Go ahead and just hit start. We're going to do brunette again. But it's always fun personalizing, right? And the machines make it so easy. And then I want you to go ahead and grab your, I think it's your last piece of fabric. We do have the felt that's going to be for the cookies, but we're not there yet. You're going to grab this piece of fabric. We're going to be laying this down next. And this is going to be the right side of our mug rug. All right, I'm gonna give you just a minute to kind of finish that up. And then you can watch this part too if you're not quite there. So what's going to happen next is there's going to be a placement line. So we're going to just stitch that row of stitching right here. You're going to trim the background A, so that's going to be the white A fabric close to the stitch line along the top shown in red. Do not trim the other edges of the fabric right now. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and we're going to just trim away the white. That's it. So you can leave that brunette thread in there. I'm just going to kind of push them down a little bit. You want to make sure your foot doesn't scoop under that at all. And so the next step is just going to be to stitch the background B placement line. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit start and just make sure, watch out for this guy. See that black screw? That guy is deadly. Don't get near him. He hurt me before. We have a really bad relationship. Me and that screw there. So now it wants you to go ahead and it wants you to trim. So all you're trimming is you're trimming that background A fabric close to that stitch line. Make sure you don't cut through your batting. Let me see if I can get a better angle this way. That black, has it gotten anyone else? Like you reach in and then he's just like, he's going so fast, he's just getting you so bad. It's just me. I'm the only one. Okay, go ahead and trim this.
No, Jeannie, he's got me too.
Oh my God. Are you so scared of him?
It scares me more than hurts, I think.
Oh
I
no,
think
that
the
hurt me
needle-
too. I'm so scared. Because like the screw's going up and down so fast. So even though you pull your hand away, he's gone up and down like 4 or 5 times on your finger.
That and the needle.
I've gotten it too, and I've also put a needle right straight through my.
Oh,
index
the
finger.
needle.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
knock on wood. The needle hasn't got, well, the needle's gotten me, but I've been saved like sometimes by my fingernail or what, Patrick? Oh, Patrick, even Patrick's had needle injuries because you move by the needle fast and you get hooked by it. Yeah.
I always get stuck on my fingernail.
Not like,
On the
I don't think so. I didn't see. Can look at the back page. All right. So it wanted you to trim that nice and close. I just had a little bit of fabric there. And now it says place background B. So let's grab our background B fabric. Here it is. And it wants you to place background B fabric right side down. So, and you want your stripes in this, or don't put your stripes in this orientation. I mean, you could, right? It would look like that. You want to put your stripes in this orientation so you don't have to be as careful, but we want to do it this way. And I never spray on the right side of my fabric, so don't spray it. Make sure that the placement line is like in the middle of your fabric. Don't be too far left and don't be too far right. So just kind of be mindful of where those are going. And you're placing this edge right on that placement line that's stitched out. So place background B fabric right side down with the design running horizontally, covering the design with one long edge centered along the placement line. And now you're going to stitch the background B seam stitch. It's going to be a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So just have that laid down. Make
Jeannie,
sure
question?
Yeah.
We have 3. Is it going to be the short piece or one of the 2?
Well, we already used the two longest ones. Those 2 pieces, we pressed them in the very beginning of class, and that's going to be our back to make our envelope back.
Okay, so it's the shorter one. Okay.
Yeah. So you're going to use the shortest one. The smallest one is going to be what we're laying down right now. Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I'm going to slide that back on. Now I'm going to let it do the 1/4 inch seam allowance. And you can tape this if you want. I'm not taping it, but I'm watching out for that guy. Remove the hoop from the machine, flip the fabric right side up using a pressing cloth, press the seam. I'm not doing that. I'm just going to give mine a little shot of spray. You know me. But if you want to take it out, you can. I just bought those dime hoop mats that kind of go underneath to support it. I'll let you know. I'll let you know if they're a winner or not. But I was thinking, because I'm going to be doing scan and cut, that I needed that to be pressing my applique pieces. But I will go ahead and you could use a folding pen. So if you got your Clover folding pen, I didn't bring it with me, but you could just lay that down right there, just a little line. I will kind of cut my hand a little bit so the spray doesn't get everywhere. However, if you think you are going to be out of control with your spray, just tape it back. I don't know if you can see mine, but it's like barely a little spritz. It's like just spritzing it. And I'm going to fold this back. And I'm going to give this an aggressive fingernail fold. And then this will hold it back. That spray. And for me, that's enough. But if you want to take it to your iron and give it a little more of an iron, you can. There we go. Uh-oh, somebody just did a comment and I didn't see it. It went up on my screen and then was gone. Okie dokie. If you are not spraying, definitely tape it, because the last thing you want it to do is to kind of bounce back and then have like a messy fold. We're going to go ahead and stitch the background bead tack down. Do not trim the fabric at this time. That square with the diagonal lines means to use a neutral color, but since my next color is going to be marlin, I'm going to go ahead and put my marlin in right now. I'm going to go ahead and take out my thread like I showed you. Oop. Some people don't know that these have this. You can unpop the base. I did that in front of somebody and they were like, oh, I didn't know that. And then you can click that down to hold your thread. I know most of you know, but just in case you didn't, there you go. Magic. And if you don't have that, we sell, are they thread? There's like the peels that you can get. Okay, it's going to do the tack down. And I'm going to gently hold my hand here to, whoop. I don't know if I do that like 20% of the time. I forget. I'm going to go back to the beginning of that stitch because this is a tack down. You want it to stay. To do that, this goes to the next step. This will go to the first stitch of the step you're on. And if you hit it again, it would go to the previous. Okay. So let's go ahead. See, you learned a lot about what to do if you make. Did I just do that again? I didn't hit my threading button. Okay, here. Thread first. Then go back. Then stitch. Oop, sorry. Here he comes. Coming to get me. He's my arch nemesis. And it says remove the tape. So if you taped, go ahead and take out the tape. Now it wants you to stitch background bead quilting. So there's a quilting stitch that's going to go on this blue fabric. If you haven't done it yet, I would go ahead and change your thread out to whatever blue you want to use. I'm using marlin. And I'm going to go ahead and hit start. And this is 2 minutes of quilting. And look how cute that stitch is. Is that adorable?
Jenny, this is Giselle. I have a
Hi.
question.
Yeah.
I have a question. Like I said, I'm behind. So I'm doing the little gingerbread man. I
Yep.
have them all on. So why does my I just got this luminaire, but why does it say that it's on number 12 when on the instructions I'm getting ready to put the buttons on the gingerbread man? It's like
Yeah.
23.
So
Is it-
you're going to have two sets of instructions, Giselle. So are you looking at on the very top? Are we down here? And are you saying the machine saying step 12?
Oh, wait a minute. Let me look at my book.
Yeah, so you're going to have two
Okay.
sets of
I got
numbers.
you.
Yep.
Okay.
So the bottom row is going to be what step you are in the embroidery. The top number is overall steps, and that includes things like folding and pressing your fabric and adding shape flex and all that kind of stuff. It's all the steps. The bottom row is just going to be embroidery, so that helps you keep track of where you are when you look at your screen.
Okay.
Okay?
Great. I need a Kimberbell class.
Just
Kimberbell
keep doing
instructions class.
Giselle, just keep stitching with us and then you'll learn it all. Like you'll have it down packed.
It's coming out good.
So that
Okay.
number 12 is the step you're going to see here. That step, when you see the number here on the top,
Right.
then you can look at your instructions and you're going to look at the bottom number.
That's where I am. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay.
You just got your luminaire. Congratulations.
Thank you. I've had it a few weeks. I guess before the end of September when during the sale. Yeah.
Are you loving it?
I am. I'm loving it. I'm in here all the time trying to do something. I just, messed up a lot of fabric and stuff, but it's going.
Yeah, I always tell people there's like a certain amount of self-hazing when you get a machine. Like you're going to do some stuff wrong and you'll just learn from that.
Yeah, and I'm new to embroidery, period, but I had one that was I think it was the E1700 NQ, something like that.
Yeah.
Just went up to the 6x10 hoop. So I got the luminaire and someone is helping me do through the seasons at my local quilt shop. I go in. So that's turning out great. It's working. I'm doing it. It's coming.
You're gonna love it. I always tell people like getting a new machine's like getting a new car. And in the beginning, you're like, I don't know, turn on the AC and I don't know how to, and all these things that you don't know how to do. But like a month in your new car, you're like talking on the phone, eating a hamburger,
Right.
Changing the AC, playing with the radio. So it'll be like that with your machine too. Everything that's new and different will be old and familiar.
Okay. Well, I know you don't ever see my name, but I'll watch you every day.
What was that, Giselle?
I said, I know you don't ever see my name. I don't really chat, but I watch you every day. I watch you guys every day because you're so and I'm learning.
Welcome to the A1 family.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I got my digital file from you, and so I'm getting started. Okay.
So you're gonna just finish up that background quilting. And then the next thing we're gonna do is we are gonna get ready to put down your cookies. Get your cookies, girls. I'm gonna give mine a little shot of spray right now. It's just that little piece of felt. And then I don't like to use tape with like felt because I feel like, the tape really sticks to it. When I do, that's when I'm going to use my paper tape. I'll use my Kimberbell tape or something like that. That's not as sticky as my transport. We're going to do a tack down and then we're going to trim. So the color we're going to need next is cork. So grab your cork. It's like the perfect, isn't it? Just like, right? It's pretty perfect. Perfect match. All right, get your cork. Put your cork thread in. Put that in. We're going to do placement line first. Placement line. Placement line. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, I'm spraying my cork. Sometimes when it does placement lines, I let it stitch a little bit and I stop it because I'm like, oh, I know if it fits here, I don't have to do anymore. Like, especially when they're big, complicated ones. Because I'm impatient. I'm like, I have stuff to do. The ladies are waiting. Okay, here we go. Do you ever spray your felt? Oh, I sprayed it just then. I'll spray the wrong side for sure. Yeah. I spray everything. I don't spray the right side of my fabric, but I do spray like almost everything. So you're doing your tack down, and I'm just doing it in that same cork. Every time I say cork, it makes me laugh because there is a Saturday Night Live skit about cork. That's all I'll say because we got to keep it clean here. Look how cute these cookies are, though. Are those cookies so adorable? You're gonna have to trim. Like, it's really important that you do some trimming for this because there's gonna be lines going between the chocolate chips. Okay, this says to trim the felt as desired. And when I hear as desired, that's when I go to, although I was using this before too, because I couldn't find my other curves. Trim as desired, get yourself a pair of curved straight, because when you cut with curved, the curve almost makes like smiley faces when you cut. So if you want that line to be, you want it to be straight, but going around, you're going to need a pair of curved straight. And I love these. We sell these in 2 different sizes. There's the little itty bitty, and then we sell the 6-inch. So I think it's 4-inch and 6-inch. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off because I'm going to be turning it in my lap. This is a turn in the lap project for me. And I like to leave about 1/8 of an inch around. If you want, you could have just put it right here, and then you'll have plenty of, you'll have plenty for the next set too.
Jeannie, it's Linda Steinport.
Hi.
You're not putting a topper on the felt?
I am not putting a topper on the felt. And the reason I'm not is because they didn't say to. But if you want to put a topper, that's always a great suggestion. So yeah, the toppers will make it so the stitches don't sink down into the like anything plush, like felt or fleece or velveteen. So yeah, if you want to add topper, you can totally do that. I didn't even see, Linda. I'm not as smart as you. I didn't even think of it. I wasn't even thinking that. But yeah, you could add a topper. I think it's okay. We'll just call these melted chocolate chips. So because they kind of stayed on the top. So I think they were okay. But if you want to put topper on.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for the suggestion too. I made my lunch today and I left it on the counter. I was so mad. But I guess it all worked out because it's John's 1-year anniversary, so we're having pizza party. I don't like sharp edges, so I'll round those out. And there's mine. And it's not perfect. I like it not perfect. I'm going to go ahead and slide this back on. Happy Will and John. Donna, were you on the phone when she got my I think, were we talking? She got my sandwich yesterday. She is so fast. And we're trying to put her on a diet because she's getting chunky. But when they lick the bowl, I go, oh my God, they must be so hungry. Okay. Lynn, what did you just say about 2 cookies? We got 2 cookies there. All right. Tack down, trim. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to stitch out the CKIE, and then we'll stitch out the white. Oh, and it's going to do the chocolate chip detail too. So let's go ahead and change out your thread.
I said no two cookies are alike.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so they shouldn't be perfect. Okay, on top of everything else that Sage does and she's incredible at, she is a master cookie maker. So I personally am not a huge cookie person, but she knows how to make cookies I love. She makes me oatmeal cookies that are super thin and crisp. And I don't like a ton of chocolate chips, so I just like them sprinkled in here and there. She brought this with her. I ate the whole bag and I barely shared with Patrick. Oh, Lynn. Okay, I do love Christmas cookies. I'm just saying, I'm not like, but Christmas cookies, there are some Christmas cookies. I like those ones with the powdered sugar. And then I don't even know the names of them. I personally never make cookies. I was thinking this year, I'm more of a cook than a baker. And I was thinking this year I would make spring rolls for the neighbors. Oh my God, potato chip cookies. What is that? It sounds like savory and sweet.
Hi, Jeannie. On this next step, do we need to do a thread change from the cork?
What was that?
Are we still in the cork for this next step?
No. So we just went, I'm sorry, we went to the brunette. So we are on this step right here, step number 41. You're going to put in brunette and it's going to stitch out the C, the K, the I, and the E, and it's going to stitch out your chocolate chips. So
All
yes,
right.
switch.
Thank
Switch.
you.
Sorry about that. The good thing about something like this, satin stitches, they're easy to take out. I did one of my tiles last night. It was 84 minutes. I can't remember how many stitches it was, but I was 60 minutes in. I looked out, I let my dogs out in the yard and I looked out and I forgot the sprinklers were on. So they literally will stand in front of the sprinkler and just bite at it. They were both soaking wet. So I wasn't even thinking about what was on my machine. I just hit start. And next thing I know, I came in and it stitched red where it was supposed to be light blue. And you can't stitch over red. It just doesn't work. So I refused to put that block in the trash because it was 60 minutes of stitching. It probably took me half an hour, but I got all those reds out. And a lot of them were thick, like wide, almost satin stitches. So it wasn't as bad as it could have been. Yeah, so we're using this. The next part is going to be official tester, and you're going to be using linen. So once you're done with this, linen's next. Your cream, your off-white, whatever you want to use. Who's done? I think some of you are done. People walking around. Are you done, Leslie? Oh my God, you are. Ready to trim it up? Yep. I find that's usually when we stitch, like a third of you will be with me, a third of you will be ahead of me, and a third of you will be behind me. That's just kind of how it works. Here we go. Ta-da. I got my linen waiting in the wings. Don't forget to trim everything. And I use my side hoppers, and I use my you definitely want to use your tweezers. This, oh my God, this saved my life last night when I was removing those stitches, because sometimes you just can't get them out, and I will pick them out with the tip of these tweezers. But my side hoppers are over where I was sitting, but you want to use a pair of scissors that have either like a hook, and we carry the OESD ones, and these are the tulip pink ones, and that's why they're so beautiful. And then we also carry the side hoppers. And I probably wouldn't recommend doing it while the machine's moving. But these are just doing little itty bitty cookies. It's not moving much. And you want to, I put the hook down and then I'll flip it when I cut the next part. I'll grab my side hoppers too, and we'll do some trimming with the side hoppers. But you want to get all those jump threads in between the eyes, in between the cheeks, in between the buttons. It just makes it look so much better. You want to get all those jump threads. Do we have them between the chocolate chips? I don't even know if we do. And it helps. Joanne Bell was the first one who was like, I use my tweezers and I use the snips. And that makes such a huge difference too, allowing you to get really nice and close. Where is it? Right here? I'm going to go grab my side hoppers. I'll be right back. I'll show you those too. Okay, and these are the other ones that I use to trim my jump threads. I'm always behind. Oh, I know. One more block to go. So I like these as well. I think I got all of my, if you look at my earlier work, I didn't cut my jump threads. I don't know why. I think I was just, oh yeah, here. We'll use them right here. Here's a good example. Okay. This is Love Notes. There's me and Patrick when we fell in love. And there's little Violet, Kai and I. Okay, so here, let me see if I can get this. Look at all those jump threads. Awful. So these have like little feet on them. So you get 1 foot under on one side, trim it, and then you can grab your thread and just cut it on the other side. Am I like, where am I? I saw another one right here. So just pop 1 foot under. What am I doing here? There. Can you even see anything except for my big hand? And so on and so forth. But you definitely want to okay, so you have a couple different options. But that's part of your finish work. I'm going to keep cutting while that's stitching. There's so many jump threads. And there you go. I've got to do something while stuff like chocolate chip stitching drives. I'm like, how many? I'll start counting the chocolate chips. I'll be like, okay, I have 10 more chocolate chips to go. So I have to do something else. It's like watching the grass grow when it's small stuff like that. So now I'm going to go ahead. I'm stitching out official tester. I'm using the linen. So you're going to change your thread color after you finish with the chocolate chips. And you're going to put the cream in. And that one is going to stitch out the official tester writing. And I think are we almost done? Yeah. Look at your screen. This is step 25 of 26. So after we put this down, we're just going to be putting on the back. Everything is in the hoop. Like, you couldn't ask for anything more, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, I missed that. Do we put the flex on our backing? The shape flex on the backing pieces. Do you mean these, Miss Tina? I mean, so sometimes when it's like light, they'll have you put shape flex on it, and it didn't have you put it on this, and I think because this went down on your batting, and you can always use shape flex to add a little bit of oomph to your fabric, but you don't need it for this. So I'm not sure if this is. Yeah, I would just use these just how you have them.
Well, I came in late because I couldn't figure out how to get in. And so I missed that part.
Oh, wait, could you say that one more time, Tina?
I came in late.
Oh, yeah. These two pieces, if you did show up late, we just took these two pieces and folded them in half and pressed them. And these we're going to lay down and we're going to do a little envelope back. So you can just fold it. We can flip it right side out.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And if you wanted to, you could add shape flex if you wanted to make it a little more beefy, but you don't need it.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it. I got one for home too. I'm like daydreaming about my tiling scene. I think I have to bring it here and stitch it on my 10 needle here. This will be a great present, Gilda. Yeah, and if you want to make a bunch of them, like I said, you could like load them up into like a bigger hoop. Like what if you did your 10.5 by 16? Let's see, you'd have I'm trying to think of how you would lay it. I feel like the 8x12, like the 7x12 and just lay them 7x12. I think the 7x12 would be perfect to do 2 at a time. But yeah, I would do multiples. All right. Ready? This is like where the magic happens. It's kind of like when you do an in the hoop bag. Oh, she's a cookie monster. I should make one for Sage. Sage loves cookies. All right. This is our last step. You are going to place the prepared back fabric pieces on top of the project with the folds overlapping about an inch. Be sure the entire box previously sewn is covered. And you'll see that because you can see the outline. So you want to make sure you're around that whole thing. You're going to tape your corners. I will tape my corners and I will tape here, but I never put my piece of tape all the way across. I put my piece of tape right here and right here because what you want is you just don't want the foot to go under the fold and then pull your fabric back and like do awful things. We've all had that happen where you're all of a sudden your foot is catching and you're like, oh my God, and it ruins your project and you can't find the stop button fast enough. So you're just going to grab your 2 pieces and they have, and not that it makes a difference, but they have the top going down first. So they have this one first and then they have the other one on top. So if we kind of line it up here, you just want to make sure you're beyond the outline and it might have to come down a little bit. We'll see. And then this overlap about an inch. You can fold it back and you can look to see if you're about an inch apart. And make sure that your lines aren't like, you don't want them all askew. That looks like about an inch to me. I want to make sure I'm covering down below. This is further up, so I'm going to pull him down a little bit. There we go. And then I'll cover this up. And that looks like, oh, wait, fold. Sorry. Did you see that? You shouldn't have a messy, both of the fold sides are in. You shouldn't have a raw edge. I'm going to put mine like lines up like kind of perfectly. I'm looking at my like zigzags. Look at that. So I just want to make sure I'm covering that, which I am. Okay, I'm going to put mine down like that. Kind of fun. They look kind of seamless. If you want to tape, go ahead and tape. You definitely need to put a piece of tape right here and here because that's where the foot, and I don't know which way it's going to go. There's only one way. Like when it comes back under, that's where you have to be careful. This will go this way. I think it might come back that way. Grab your tape. I'm a transport girl all the way. I like it because it rips really easily. It's just medical tape, transport. You can just get it online. We do sell it here at the store, though. It rips so nicely. So I'll put one piece here. That'll be plenty. You don't have to go all the way across. But if you want to, you can. And if you want to tape it down up here in the corners, you can. Oh my goodness, it's our last embroidery step. Then we're going to trim. Make sure you have your folded edges in. And here we go. Step number 26, stitch the final outline. It's asking you to use your blue. So I'm going to take out my linen and I'm going to put my marlin back in. If I can find it. Where'd it go? When in doubt, look on the floor. My thread is gone. Okay. Maybe on my table. Maybe it dropped down. I'm gonna have to grab a different blue. My thread is gone. Let me feel under here. Is it back under here? Did I drop it? Okay. I have no idea what happened to it.
I'm gonna go ahead and send. I don't really think we're there's gonna be the shipping difference if like box and fits them together, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
what else was she getting?
5x7.
Oh, got it. No, she's not getting the 5x7. She doesn't want it. Remember I told you that?
No, but I guess I knew that.
Yeah.
So I can go ahead and just ship this.
I think she did an online order. Could you check?
I'm just shipping.
Patrick, did you hear him? He's so defiant sometimes. I need a more obedient manservant. I don't know. I know some of you have very obedient manservants. I've seen some come in. Mine is a little belligerent, so maybe he just needs more training.
They all talk back.
What was that?
I said they all talk back.
They all talk back. I always tell him my life would be so much easier if he just did what I told him to do when I told him to do it. And he said then it wouldn't be any fun. He said I wouldn't really like that. But I think I would. Can you imagine if I could just have whatever, have him do whatever I want him to do whenever I told him to do it? Maybe I wouldn't. Maybe that would be too boring. Okay. When you're done, you can remove this and we're going to go ahead and we're going to trim 1/4 of an inch all the way around. I'm going to use my cutting mat, a ruler. Is there anyone who's mid-process that needs help? Anyone that has any questions? Oh, found my thread. It was indeed on the floor underneath this seat. Okay, let me put that away. That's okay. This is a brighter blue. It'll be easier for you to see when I trim. Did it on purpose.
For Christmas before, it's just the
Yeah,
gingerbread.
I'll have it all.
No, but
Oh,
if someone wants
yeah.
to, it's just
Just grab it for them. Just put it together. It's cool mint, light copper, and white.
cool mint light copper.
Yep. And they're all on the stand. All right. I'm going to move my wool mats out of the way. Let's come on over. What a great way to start the day, stitching with friends. If you're still stitching, keep going. I just pop that out. Let's get rid of our tape. And then we're going to trim. Please show us, how to add a name. Okay, let's do that. I'll go back to that afterwards. I'll show you how to size and I'll show you how to add a name. We are trimming this 1/4 of an inch and then we are also going to do our corners. Yes.
There's only 2 ounces in there, but I gotta find 4 ounces and grade it, pricing as well. But only 2 ounces is in the system.
Oh, so it's the wrong one.
Yeah, this is wrong.
Can you look it up on Checker?
Checker.
Yep, just look it up on Checker and thank you for catching that. I'm looking for my ruler. Here we go.
I have a question. This is
Sure.
Giselle. The navy fabric. What color did you do the background there?
Oh, so I used
says olive.
this Marlin.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you look at mine, let me grab mine. So you can see it, but it's
good.
not like
That's what I wanted to
too
do.
obnoxious where it's like so much. There's a lot going on here, so a tone on tone I think is better. But that's
Okay.
Marlin. And then I stitched it together with a different color because I lost my Marlin and then I found it. So
Yeah.
this is a brighter blue. This isn't the blue that I have on the front.
Okay.
We're going to trim. I'm just going to do 1/4 inch around the whole thing. And I am going to use my rotary cutter. And where's my rotating mat? We have one here. I haven't taught a class here at the store in a while, so let me see. Here we go. Rotating mat. Ooh, you're so beautiful. Here we go. Here we go. You don't have to use a rotating mat for this, right? But kind of nice. Okay, we also want to trim into our corners too. Scissors. I like using like my perfect scissors, but I don't see them here. They're now. Perfect scissors. I'll just use these. All right, and I like to do 2 cuts. Don't get corner greedy. Like don't cut right at the corner. Go stitch away. You don't have to get that close. And when you do, that's when I find that I punch right through. You don't want to punch through. Okay. Corners are trimmed. I'm going to grab my point turner. I have 2 point turners I love. I love this one, the OSD one, and I love the Clover one. I only brought the OSD one with me. And my advice is don't ever use this one. I punch through every single time when I use this one. I know this one's a lot bigger, but you can still get a nice sharp corner. When you do this, turn one side inside out, push your corners out, and then do the other side. If you turn both, you're not going to be able to get into this first turn, the first set of corners. So go ahead and push it out with your finger first. Then grab your point turner. I like a little bounce. Bounce it, bounce it, bounce it. And then I do this one. I bounce it, I bounce it, I bounce it. Don't get tempted to use that. Be okay with it not being like crazy, crazy sharp, that crazy sharp one. And sometimes I'll roll it in my finger if I really, really want to get it a little sharper. Okay, always push those corners out and then you're going to turn the other side. Because you're going to find if you turn this side, look, it's hard. You could kind of get there, but it's harder. It's a little bit harder to get to that. So if there's 2 turns, I always push them out in the first turn.
Jeannie,
Yeah,
I'm going to use Steam-A-Seam to close the back.
girl, you go. That is the best. I think that's the best way to do it too. Steam-A-Seam. So, and I keep both. So in my stash and here at the store, we keep Steam-A-Seam 1/2 inch and Steam-A-Seam 1/4 inch. And yes, that is the way to go. If you want to close it right now, do they have you hand stitch it? Or they don't even have you do it, right? Okay. So, but if you want that to stay shut, I love the OESD point turner too. It's a good one. I love the Clover one as well because it has that edge that you can kind of burnish with. So I really, really like that too. They're like children. You're going to love them for different reasons. So have both of them. All right. So if you want to add your Steam-A-Seam, go ahead and heat up your iron. And I am going to show you how to add the name as well. I'm done with this. I'm going to put my stuff away. See, I can clean, right? Jeannie knows how to clean. Do you hear that, ladies? All right, I double mat. When I am on a cutting mat, I never just, well, I did iron on just one mat and a cutting mat. You know what happens? You warp your mat. So I would recommend that you double mat. And I have these. I just got these in. This is what I have at home. I like these. They're 14 inches by 14 inches, and you can put them together. So I actually just got a set for the house too, because right behind my multi-needle, I set up a hooping mat and then wool mats in case I want to iron something. I
Do
have
you
wool
sell
mats all
those?
over my house. Yes, we sell these at the store. So, and like I said, they're 14 inches by 14 inches. So they're modular. I like modular because it gives you options. All right,
Can
Steam-a-scene.
I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
The Thomas Kincaid, do you have to do that on a 10 needle?
Oh, absolutely not. You can do the Thomas Kincaid on just a regular sit down. So yeah,
But
don't.
Patrick said it's bad for the machines.
Oh no. He said what it's not bad for the machine. It's going to, I'm going to turn this right side out so I can put this on. It's a lot of stitches. And it's going to be like anything else. You know, it's almost a million. I haven't done the numbers, but a lot of those tiling scenes are a million stitches. And we recommend that you get your machine serviced every 3 million stitches for your embroidery machine if you have a combo machine, and every million stitches if it's a sewing only. So it's not bad for your machine. It's just going to put a lot of stitches on it. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I think most people don't have a multi-needle, and they do their tiling scenes. They do them on their single needle. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this down right here, and I'm going to iron it down. One side has paper. Yeah, no, they're not. They can be hard on your machine, but it's just like doing a million stitches. Some of it, there's some dense stitching. So you might have some dense stitching. There's some parts like, you know what's hard on the machine is sewing it all together. I'm about halfway through with mine right now. And I was thinking that probably this weekend, depending, we'll see, I'm going to be here. There, can you see that? The seam there? So now I'm going to flip this right side out, and then I'll iron it down, and then this will be fused. It is permanent. Bonds permanently when ironed. So yeah, I should have put that on before I turned it. And I know somebody who got them, and she's like, she's going to do 3. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of stitching. Huh?
I lost your box. but
Oh,
sure.
I don't care. Excuse me, that's so rude, CJ. No, I'm just kidding.
I know you're in class. I do have
Did it work out?
It did.
Yay!
Thank you. Brown box. Do you
Special?
want some?
Oh, the Isacord ones?
No, do you want empty?
I think we're good right now. Yeah, we're totally good. Thank you, though. And there's your permanent bond, and then you don't have to sew it shut. You're done. All right. That's it, ladies and gents. Does anyone have any questions?
Jeannie, I have one.
Yep. Oh, I'm
Did-
going to show you how to add a name.
Yeah,
Okay.
Did-
Was that the question, or was
No.
there something else?
yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
No,
So I
Jeannie,
did. Yes.
Mug Rug 6. Did they come in
Yes.
yet?
Mug Rug 6 has not come in yet. They shipped them. Hopefully, they shipped them yesterday. I haven't looked at my tracking yet, but usually I get them in 2 days. I'll check and I'll let you know tomorrow if they're here.
because I have about 5 things I have to pick up. And
Are you waiting for them?
I would wait for that then.
Yeah, and don't worry, because I'm going to come in at the beginning of the week at night. Patrick says we're only allowed to come out at night because we're on vacation, but I'll have stuff out and ready for people to pick up. And the store's open. All right, let's add a name. So if you wanted to add a name to this, I'm going to turn the orientation just because it's going to be easier for my brain. So I'm going to go okay to get out of this. This is the screen from which we stitch out. You can't do it here. So you have to go to the previous screen. To go to the previous screen, you're just going to have to hit return. It'll go to your main edit screen. And I'm going to rotate this, and I'm going to get rid of the 5x7 outline so those lines don't look confusing to you. So I'm going to rotate. And I'm going to rotate 90 degrees to the right. There we go. All you're going to do is you're going to touch add. And you have a couple of options. So these are going to be your fonts. The difference between these two, these are going to be your regular fonts. These are your monograms. So these are bigger. We're not going to do those. We're going to just go in here. You can pick any of the fonts that you want. So I will start off, maybe I'll try this one. And let's say we want to go ahead and we want to add the name Maddie. So there's my capital M. That's a little big. So I might go, and you always have to choose your size after you pick the first letter. So I'm going to change that to a medium. That's better. And then I'm going to go to lowercase, and depending on your machine, you might have to arrow through. And I'm going to do ADD, and I'm going to spell Maddie with an IE. I'm going to go ahead and set. It's always going to bring it in black. It's always going to bring it in right in the center. I don't want to accidentally move this design. So when I have designs layered on top of designs, I usually go to edit and I use my move keys. So I'm going to move it up. I'm going to move it over. And let's move it down. And you might go, I want to see that closer up. So, and not all machines have the features that I'm showing you, but I'm going to go ahead and go to 150%. That looks better to me. And then you can do all sorts of things. You could go, officials there, right? We got to move it up even further. We need to watch out for that. And then you could, I'm trying to think, is there another view window right here that you can view it? You can you can show how it stitches out. You can see it in the different size hoops. This is how it would stitch out. If you've never played with any of these buttons, isn't that kind of fun? You can watch the stitch out.
How did you get there again?
I'll go ahead and close this. So that was this button right up here. So you can go in there, and that's where you can view it in different size hoops. These are grayed out because the design is too big to fit into the 5x7 with the orientation that I switched it to. So, and the hoop size, it'll be the 4x4, the 5x7. This is the 10.5 by 10.5 and the 10.5 by 16. So the hoops that came with the Luminaire and Solaris. And that button right there will show you the stitch out. And I can go 3 times the speed if I want and hit play. And then it shows you the stitch out. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close this again. The other thing you could do, because it's hard to see it like right about above the official. So what you could do if you wanted is, because it's hard to see the white, you could change that white. This would be a good time to change that color so you could see it. And the way to do that would be go into here. And I'm not saying don't stitch it out in white, but it's hard to see it. So I could go in here. I want to get to the white, which would be, but that's the quilting. So maybe this is it. Nope, that was the sleeves. Okay, there's official cookie tester. So maybe I change it to red for right now. And that way, when I go to add the name, I can see that a little bit better. And so I can get my spacing. Now, if you don't like that font, you can go back in here once you've, maybe it won't let me do it there. I don't know why it's grayed out. I'm going to go back. Oh, there. So you have an undo and a redo. So for some reason, when I changed that color, it made it so I couldn't get to the T. So here, I'm going to redo it. See how that's grayed out? I'm going to undo. Now it lets me get to it. So I'm going to go to my T. You can do all sorts of things in here. Maybe you don't like that font. This is where you can go and you can audition them. So you don't have to start all over again. You can just come in here and you can go, you know what I really like? I like that one. She's a little kid. That looks like a little kid font. You can change the letters individually. This changes all of them at once. Maybe you want to do a different letter, one for each of them. So there's the E. Here's the I. See how the red cursor is going next to the letter? There's the D. I can change that one. So you could write a whole ransom note and embroider it with your machine. There. So now I changed every single one of those to a different letter. You can change them all to a different color if you wanted. I could go back here. Now I have the whole thing. and I could change the whole thing again. Okay, so that's going to let you change one letter at a time. That's going to change all of them all together. So depending on what you have highlighted. We could go ahead and now I could do these things here. So I could size, I can array. Maybe you want it to have a little bit of an arch, but maybe that's a little bit too much. Your arrows, these just show you what you can do. Now I can put that arch up a little bit, not have it, or you could pull it all the way down. You know what's fun is like writing all the people, but there's 4 people in our family. So I could do Patrick, Violet, Kai, and Jeannie. And then I could take that and I could pull it down into a complete circle. So if you wanted to put names around something, you can do that with your array right here. And then you always, I'd probably have to do this one to maybe pull it into a circle. And maybe it won't let me because I don't have enough letters. And then this will just go back to your default. So there's always something that's going to take you back to default. And that's how you would add a name. You could put Maddie right here. Maybe that's where you would want to put the name instead. So if I wanted to put it over there, I could just take that, edit, rotate. And again, when it's a design on top of a design, a lot of times I like to just use the arrows. And then we could view it again. Just like that. Any questions for your little lesson on adding? And you could keep adding stuff. Maybe that's, you could put Daddy's cookies and then, you know, don't touch or something like that. So however you wanted to personalize it, you can just continue. There's your add button and you can just continue to add stuff. Any questions?
Thank you for a great class, Jeannie.
Yeah.
Miss Gloria.
Enjoyed it. Michelle's going to do the next one. It's going to be the stocking, and then I'll be back to do snow time with you, which is going to be the hot mitt with the binding put on in the hoop, and we're going to do it that way. So have a great day. This the recording will go up, and I will send the recording to all of you too. So if you want to watch any of this back, you'll get that as well, and it'll go up on YouTube as just a regular public video.
Thank
So have a
you.
great day.
Bye.
We'll see you later.
Bye.
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 Bye.